Welcome everybody to episode 29 of Three Men and a PT Lady. Today we have a very special guest, Bradie Nelk, to talk to us about her journey and some of her passion projects. And with me as always, and we talk about top 5 country music songs growing up. I'm flustered today, everybody. Nick set me up for failure on the format, so I apologize. But with me as always is Nick, I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die, Doling, and Jeremy Boots Scootin' Boogie Van Kloppenberg.
Yes. Dead on.
Yes.
And my pleasure to introduce wonderful therapist, even better person and friend, Bradie Nelk. Bradie, welcome.
Thank you.
We're so happy to have you on the show. It's finally time. We get a different point of view on this show. Nick exclusively will only allow men on the show. He says
that's not true.
Boys
not
club.
True.
I've been fighting for
No.
7 months and 28 days, and we finally got a lady on the show. All right,
No,
Nick,
I was the one who wanted
bus.
to go. This is a bunch of crap. No.
Yes.
Such a fibber. No, I've tried. We got rain checks on a few busy gals, so I'm happy to have Bradie here. I've been
Who's
holding it in for a
flustered
long
now,
time.
Casey? Who's flustered now?
Well, he deserves it.
He does.
I'm the guy who wanted to pull out the ladies' man and be like, "Ooh, with the day," like,
and I
for the
shot
first
that
time.
down. I shot
You
that down.
can't do that.
And you're
You
like, "You
can't
can't
do
do it,"
that.
but I just did.
I know.
snuck it in.
I'm
So,
constantly
welcome.
fighting the FCC with you. It's enough. Every
Just
week
name
it's a thing.
dropping.
Well, Bradie, tell us a little bit about yourself. Let the audience know kind of who you are, and then we'll kind of roll into a fun new segment we started last week that we're going to continue, and then we'll get talking about passion projects and things like that.
Awesome. Well, I'm a PT just like the rest of you. I'm in a small town of Wheaton, Minnesota. I've been a PT for 9 years now, and my history prior to that was athletic training. So I've had a long line of just sports med and healthcare. But yeah, now I'm in Wheaton and I'm a clinic manager there, and I'm heading up quite a few different programs. But recently I've been doing women's health and pelvic health and chronic pain, and just really trying to empower the women around me and the women in my community and trying to empower my team. So
It's really cool.
that's me in a nutshell.
The
I'm a mom. I have 2
Nick
kids.
Doling, ladies man.
Hold on,
Oh.
2 kids. How old are your kids?
So my son is 11, but he's kind of like a 65-year-old retired farmer in an 11-year-old's body.
Sweet.
His favorite singer is Ronnie Millsap. Like he loves
Nice.
farming. He loves helping my dad. So just an old soul. He asked he was 5 and he asked for a wheelbarrow for Christmas because he just
Yes.
Very cool. He's got work to do.
like he's that person. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, he loves working. He works on the farm. He mows lawns for the neighbors and pulls weeds for the neighbors and bales hay, walks
really cool.
dogs, helps my uncle weld. Like he just does it all. And I have a daughter and she's 7, but she's like a 88-year-old in a 7-year-old's body. She's kind of crotchety. She's been around the block. She doesn't take no bull from anybody, but there's hints of sweetness. She's got really strong boundaries, and she's got this kind of raspy little voice, like she's smoked for about 80 years. So we call her Gladys around our house.
Gladys.
So
Gladys.
yeah, that's my kiddos. And then I have a husband, Ryan,
Awesome.
who like puts up with us, and he's just a blessing. So
Now,
Get me
what
thinking.
age is he in his body?
well,
Good question.
today he's walking around like he's about 99. He did hurt his back and we did some dry needling, so he's coming out of it. But
That's right.
That's another topic.
so yeah, but otherwise he's like a 21-year-old at heart.
Okay.
Did that dry needling fix him up pretty well?
It did. He went from
Yeah.
like 10% of his function to like 85 in about a day. So it was
God,
beautiful.
that's
Leading
So-
the witness,
so
Doling. Leading the witness.
Sweet. We'll bring you back on for we had an episode called PT Court.
Yeah, thank God you weren't on the jury.
Yeah.
Love to have you back on for that one. So that was just a lot of fun. I also, you got me thinking, I have a Michelle and we have a 13-year-old boy who's really, I love the way you phrase that. He's like 65, but ours is like a 65-year-old retired video gamer. So, that's kind of what Connor is. But, he's catching on. He's got a passion for football finally. It's taken off with a little camp he's finishing up this week. So,
what's the retired life of a video gamer look like? Like, don't you just still play video games, or you're like
pretty much all the time?
Hanging it up.
Yeah, but you're
controllers
tired.
Away.
You're fatigued.
Okay.
Yeah. Arthritic thumbs slowing you down.
You're just playing Candy Crush because you can't handle the intensity of competitive life.
He hangs with our 16-year-old dog all the time, like talking about how achy there. Man,
they just both lay in the sun. That's
yep. Pretty much. Who's going to be the first to die? But this isn't about that.
Who's going to the doling death pile at the farm first?
Jeez.
This ain't about that though. Should we move on to your segment?
So we have a fun little segment. We started last week. The segment originally was called Brock Jams 98, but now that Brock isn't here anymore, the name's not appropriate. So I've renamed it. So today's segment is called Get to Know This PT Lady Bradie. So how this segment goes?
It's a lot. You gonna put that on a shirt? Got a graphic you can put that on?
If only we had somebody that could make merch. That's all I'm saying. So what we do is previously I fired some questions at our last guest. We're gonna do that today, but in a round robin fashion. Nick and Jeremy thought I was having too much fun by myself, so they wanted in.
Yeah, definitely.
So Bradie, I need you to imagine music in your mind to make this more intense. It's supposed to be an intense deal. We don't want you to think about it. Just you could go with your heart. Go with your heart. Okay. They may be a little across the board. The whole idea of this thing is we know who you are, but now we need to know deep inside like what Bradie's about. All right.
All right.
You ready?
Let me have it.
All right. I'll go first. My clock screen would be me, Nick, Jeremy. You guys okay with that?
Sure.
Yeah.
And what are we giving her? Like you got to do 2 seconds, right?
Yeah, I would say like
gut reaction.
Past 5, and I'm gonna start saying stuff.
Then we're gonna call baloney.
Oh, crap.
Like that's a canned statement. What is this? Yeah. All right. So first question: better pet, a tarantula or a python?
Oh, gross, tarantula.
All right.
Okay. All right. More exciting to you, a big time to attend in person, a big time sporting event, or a big time concert?
Concert.
Okay.
Ooh. Better sport, basketball or wrestling?
Basketball.
Ranch, better as a dressing or a dip?
Dip.
George Strait or Garth Brooks?
Oh, you froze. I didn't hear the second one.
George Strait or Garth Brooks?
George Strait.
Good choice.
Your own Netflix account or shared password?
Oh, you're trying to get her in trouble, Jeremy?
Your
social security number and birthday. Better barbecue food, brisket or ribs?
Brisket.
Preferred destination for a vacation, Florida or Alaska?
Alaska.
Ooh, I'm not even giving you choices on this one. What's your go-to karaoke song?
Ooh, Take Me Home Tonight by Eddie Money, but don't put too much into it. That's just the only one I've ever sang. That's 21.
One and done. Geography, this is always popular with the folks. Driving via car without using ferry, which is further from Green Bay, Wisconsin, Wheaton, Minnesota, or Montague, Michigan?
From Wheaton? What?
Correct.
What did you say?
462 miles versus 409 miles. Very close, though. I was surprised.
Very close. Without using the ferry. I like that
without using the ferry.
That's important.
I had to clarify. Yep.
That's
yeah,
important.
I mean, really.
That was mostly for the listening audience.
Going out to eat, Mexican food or Chinese food?
Oh. That is hard.
The public is anxiously waiting.
Yep. This is
Oh,
a
did I
5-second thing.
freeze? Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
Did you say an
Yeah.
answer? We missed it.
I said Mexican. Sorry, I must
Okay.
have froze. Yeah,
Got it.
that's a hard one.
Got it.
I just trust it more.
Okay, fair.
Favorite game, board games or card games?
Cards.
Oh,
All right. This is now question. This is our last question, correct?
final round. Yep.
We're set here. All right. Better weekend read, a book on personal growth, biographies, or fiction?
Personal growth.
Mine's much more simple. You're driving in your car, rock or country?
Country.
Movie, comedy, or action?
Comedy.
I got one bonus one. Favorite person to host a weekend course with about pain within your current company? Go.
Nancy
Why
Jeremy
Blanchard.
von Kloppenberg.
Okay.
Answer's Jeremy.
You cut out. I'm gonna have to edit that out.
Leading the
We're
win.
losing you.
Talk about leading the win.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask a nice question with no mysteries to it. I wanted to make sure she knew what we were talking about. You did a great
That's
job,
fine.
Bradie. That was
Yeah.
good questions too. Nick, Jeremy,
That
you
was
guys
fun.
brought
The
it.
tarantula one was the only one I hated because
Both
they're
are
both
gross.
horrible.
And I'm both
Yeah.
wrong.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both wrong. You're true. Yeah.
I actually
choose
true
one.
story here. I had to pivot off mine because I also had snake, like biggest fear, snake or spider. So,
Yeah, see, I would
I figured
went
too
with
close.
a play on
Too
that. Yeah,
close. Yeah.
yeah. I didn't want to make it too
Hate
on
being
the nose.
redundant.
Yeah,
All right. Well,
I had a few
Where'd
good
you-
ones for our next person. Now, still, Jeremy, you had about 30 left. Is that right?
68.
So good.
that'll be bonus content, ad-free shows, premium listeners.
Yeah,
The
if
bloopers.
you're gonna follow us on Patreon,
Yeah.
or we'll throw them on Jeremy's OnlyFans if we have to.
Whoa.
We
Are you
could.
getting racy already? I mean, if you did listen to last week, Brady, you know that he sleeps on people in weird places.
Falling asleep and having to end up in a weird place is a different thing than sleeping purposefully in a weird place. I'd like to clarify.
That's fair. Moving on.
Yes.
Yes, let's move on.
Nick, you're in charge of flow. Keep it going.
Okay, yes. So Brady, well, you're the captain. Anyhow, let's get to know you a little bit. So where are you from originally? Like what got you that ATC background? So let's start out with like hometown, kind of any activities you did that drew you to therapy, and then what drew you to athletic training?
Yeah, well, I'm from Wheaton originally. It's my hometown. Never thought I would like settle down back here, but do you remember when you're in high school and you take those tests and it's a gamut of like 100 questions and it tells you your top 2 or 3, careers that are fit for you. The
Yeah.
first one by landslide was physical therapy. And I was like, oh, 7 or 8 years of school, like I don't want to do that, right? And the next one was athletic training, and the next one was psychology, which all ties in, and I ended up doing it all, which is pretty cool. I ended up going.
I feel
just
like the
for
test
athletic
you
training.
took was way better than the tests I took in school. I was like,
Yeah.
you, like janitors,
Talking about-
always a popular career choice, right? Like, wait a second.
Garbage man.
Yeah.
But I played a year of JUCO basketball.
Yeah.
Had an injury or two.
Where
Saw
at?
some athletic training at NDSCS in
Oh,
Wapaton.
Wildcat.
yeah.
Yeah, go Wildcats. Got hurt and had an athletic trainer there, and he took care of me. And then I thought, well, maybe I should just go to athletic training. It's less years of school, because at that time, that's all that mattered. Let's just get done and get working. So then I started doing that and realized that nights and weekends are not for me. And I wanted a family, and I needed these. And I was having a hard time with the athletes and the concepts of like, why are we doing ultrasound if the body heals itself? Why am I ultrasounding you? Like, this is just bonkers to me. Like, why can't you suck it up? I never came out from a sprained ankle. Like, I just like didn't understand, like, why can't you just suck it up too? So I don't know. And then I just decided, I think I need to go the PT route. And I applied to some PT schools, got into University of Mary, knocked it out. Had my son my second semester. Just all the things. We got married my second to last semester, or whatever order you guys want to put that in.
Yeah.
To make you feel comfortable. Maybe your marriage
That's
first.
impressive.
That's a lot.
And then moved back home.
That was a load.
And yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot, and I don't recommend it, but he was a blessing. It was the best thing that ever happened, having Lane my second semester. He kept me hard-nosed into my books. I stayed out of trouble. I stayed in the books, and there was a beauty in my husband and I just being isolated together in Bismarck without our families, and we had only each other and my son, and it was just us. And there was something so beautiful about being poor and being alone and having each other, and that's just some of the best years to look back on. So came back, settled down. We have a farm on 8 acres and been here ever since.
So your husband's a farmer, right?
We live on a farm. He's a carpenter and a contractor.
Okay. All right. I was just going to ask what he was doing up in Bismarck during those years.
Yeah, he just moved back. He has his own business here, but he came there. He worked under somebody for a fraction of the pay and really sacrificed a lot for our family. And came back and got back at it.
Awesome. That's a cool story. Very cool story.
Yeah.
So
maternity leave was 10 days.
Yowzas.
We got paternities that go longer than that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think my wife had longer paternity leave from her current job when we got a dog.
Going on animals again?
Yeah. It's alive, Nick. It's going to live a long time.
I would not. I'd have a hard time approving some PTO for that type of stuff.
Yeah, I would deny that in a hurry.
Like I've said before on the show, I think
you guys have a
13 dogs.
Have a heart.
Thank you, Jeremy. You're back in the lead. You're not the dark matter anymore.
Not everyone just throws their dogs away, Nick. Come on.
We had a slew.
Some people value that life.
So much more to this story that I need to hear.
It's in the archives. It has to do with upbringings and how many pets we each had growing up and stuff like that. I love our dog, but like I still don't have those connections to dogs. I'm not humans. Yes, humans, like, I value life, cherish life. I don't dislike my dog. I love my dog to a degree, but I'm probably not going to be the guy like calling in to be like, I'm taking him to all these appointments, or he tore his ACL, so I'm going to go get him have surgery and a brace. Like, that stuff blows my mind.
You're not scheduled out for that big old Dolb's back tat yet?
Nah, it's turning more. It's going to be more like a tramp stamp. I don't know.
How much. Yeah, that's. I will put that on Facebook when that sucker gets done.
I'll just add it to I'll add it to one of my sleeves.
That's click worthy.
Good. Follow us on Facebook.
Yeah.
So coming out, you went straight to Wheaton in this role and as a PT.
Yeah.
So then when you came out, like, we've had these conversations before with different therapists, and it's always been a cool one. Like, how has if you could think back to when you first started, like that first year as a new grad, your treatment of your philosophy of treatment, your approach, your intervention strategies, how has that evolved over the years?
Oh man. I mean, I started out really, really orthopedic because I kind of blended in that world of athletic training a little bit still. But then I still just had those questions in my mind of like, why are some people getting better faster than others? And I couldn't get that answered. And it was frustrating. You both have the same knee replacement. Why are you getting so much better? And then Susie is just stuck and she's here for 6 months. So then we had Adrian Lowe into BST, which was a total blessing because that really sparked my interest. And I'm not a person I don't like not knowing something. It just drives me crazy. So if I don't know it, I need to dive in. I need to figure out all I can about it. I don't like not having the answers. So I really had the TPS in my mind, but I didn't know how to make that work because I think I had my daughter by then. So then to have her and have 2 young kids, I was like, I don't know if I could do it. And my husband's like, you did PT school with a baby. You took tests, rocking him in the car seats.
Freaking love it.
So I can't do it. And
Yeah.
so,
Walk that
I
ankle
knocked
sprain
that out.
off and get back in.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
exactly, right? Yeah. So I
rise up.
just suck it up, right?
Yeah.
No, I said rise up. Like rise to that challenge.
Well, I said
I didn't
he
say
was
so.
more like suck it up.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So yeah, and then I don't know, I went into the TPS world and I was heavy on that, but still I think there just needs to be a healthy blend. I mean, it's not all one way or the other, and you can't treat any 2 patients alike, and really finding that. But then in Wheaton, there's a niche. There's a lot of women who are having pelvic pain, and I could only give them a little bit. So then I am diving into the pelvic floor world, which has been really nice. I did some of the dry needling like we talked about. So I just like to dabble in a little bit of everything, because even if I see somebody or a certain population like twice a year, I don't like to refer them out. I just want to treat you, and I want to have the answers, and I want to figure it out. So
noble. I love it.
Do you do any male pelvic health?
I've had a couple, but it's a really small town, and we're a really conservative farming population. I don't foresee it taking off or being a comfort zone. But there's been a few males where I was able to kind of, at least educate them appropriately, and they were really thankful. It went really well.
Yeah, I think it's just
not a population of it.
An interesting area. I know Sanford up here in Fargo is really trying to create a men's health type program, so I was just curious if you had much input or experience on that too, because I think that is, I mean, women's pelvic health isn't talked about much, and men's is even worse.
Even worse, yeah.
It's interesting how once I've learned that a little bit more, you have your total hips and some of those other, what I used to treat orthopedically, I'm finding that there's some internal pelvic floor releases that gets them to the next level faster than the way I used to treat. So
what do you, as far as an
having
outcome, what do you see happen when are you doing like needling in that area, or are you doing just like other interventional approaches and then seeing improvements in like hip mobility, or?
Yeah, hip mobility and just pain that just won't pull out. I mean, I've done everything I can think of as, as far as like the MOBs, the soft tissue, the dry needling, the graded exposure and strengthening. And they still just have this ongoing like deep ache into that hip. We can't pull it out. And there's just some pelvic floor guarding, and we do some down training, and then we do some retraining, and they're just, 2 or 3 sessions. And I feel like they're just coming out of it in a muscle that I neglected for a lot of years. So
wow. So what's cool, okay? I'm gonna own up and admit some ignorance. What's down training?
I was gonna ask the same thing, Nick. Yep. Don't feel bad. Jeremy knows, I assume, but
I was gonna just.
He's gonna be just oh yeah,
down training, big fan. Do it all the time.
Down train the hell out of that.
He's the one who taught me.
That was that weekend course
during those classes that we taught together.
I had no idea. I should have never asked that. Should have never asked that stupid question. Just stopped at 5.
So please educate us on down training.
Yeah, just down training the pelvic floor is a lot of times, our females or post-surgical patients have leaking or incontinence. And a lot of times we think, well, we need to strengthen because, it's not holding it in, but it's actually a hypertonic or, extra guarding within that pelvic floor. So all those muscles are extra guarded. They're really compressive around the bladder. If you do an internal examination on those women, all of their muscles feel just like, those people with those really tight calves and tight upper traps. They're just so guarded. So we need to do relaxation techniques. There's stretches and positioning for pelvic floor relaxation. There's breathing. We use biofeedback, so they can, with like a probe inserted into them, and then it'll give them a reading of what their resting level is, and then contraction. A lot of times they can't feel a contraction because there's such high tone.
Wow.
So it's almost like your quad is already contracted and then you try to contract more. You don't really notice that difference. So until we get them to relax, we don't see that full change.
Change.
I'm learning something new all the time,
So they're
boys.
always guarded. They're always tight.
Yeah, that's what this show's about.
Relax it down. They get a little worse for about a week and they leak a little bit more because they're so relaxed, but then you just retrain the same way we would motor control of any other muscle.
Very cool. Are those biofeedback machines like significantly expensive, or is that something that a clinic can justify having for the most part?
Yeah, I think it can be justified. All of our pelvic health gals, most of us use one. And I think the cost is with the tablet and the unit was around $1,500 to $2,000.
Yeah.
But we're using it on ACLs. We're using it on retraining scaps. We're using it everywhere.
Okay, so the 1,500, 2,000 would be biofeedback for
Where
every part of the body.
Yeah. And you have different adaptation and adapters, I should say.
Yeah.
The body. I remember
So if you have an existing unit, you would just buy different adapters as far as
what's the one you use called? What's the brand of it?
A Myonics.
Maybe they'll sponsor us.
Ionic.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yes.
Give them a shout out.
Like and follow.
Like a second one in Wheaton, by the way, for free.
After I get one, then you can have one. You're next.
Okay, deal.
Yeah. Cool. No, we had a couple of pelvic floor therapists in Marshall, and I think it's a cool thing because I didn't pretend to be a master of it, but just trusting in their skills and their abilities, and they grew a pretty good program, and it was awesome. Nancy was doing that. We had Kathy Blomker for a while, and Kathy really pushed me into the biofeedback, and she super passionate therapist. She's like explaining the whole thing to me, and I'm like, great, go for it. I'll sign off on it. Because I don't feel like I need to be able to explain the roots of everything to justify that there's a need for it and get people better. So I think that's really cool that you're doing that.
Yeah.
Pushing that forward in Wheaton. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Cool
opportunity for smaller community.
Yeah, for sure.
460 some miles from Green Bay, so.
Now that I know, I wasn't going to make the trip because I don't really like the Packers, but
no one does.
Hop and skip, really.
Not really. Really. Well, kind of the next line of questions as we go through this stuff, we've talked about, some of the evolution and what you're doing. Walk us through kind of your transition into leadership. How did that transpire? I'll use that word.
Leadership. We needed a clinic manager and they asked me to do it. And I was like, no, I'm not your girl. I was like, I don't want to be. I can't be a manager. I can't be a leader. And Chris kept pushing for it. And I was just like, no, I can't. And then he's like, well, what if Christy and I come down and we just talk about it a little bit more? When about a week later, I was like, that was interviewed me sneakily. And then finally I was like, sure, I'll do it. I'm not going to be good at it. It just wasn't something I was ever interested in. Casey knows I'm just like, I like to be the person in the background. I'll make everything pretty. I try to make the people around me do well, but I don't like to be the main person. It's just not my thing.
She will lift you up. She'll put together a hell of a weekend course for you. You can just take all the credit then because you're willing to talk.
He lifted you up, name dropped you pretty well like Tuesday in the PD meeting, but says it makes it sound like you do a lot of the heavy lifting and Casey just sits back and sips some coffee.
Nobody is shocked by that.
Oh, you've listened to more than one episode of this show. That's not surprising.
Yeah. So about how long ago was that?
2017. So it was the same time I was going through the TPS. So that was a lot. I was taking on a lot then too. So, but yeah, I've done okay. I mean, it's a learning curve and I've struggled more than I've succeeded probably, but I think at the end of the day, my team knows I love them and I care about them and I want them to succeed as people and as therapists. And I think we have a good vibe in our clinic and everybody works hard and respects each other. So I think I am able to bring that to the table.
Yeah.
But, I'm getting better at being, tough and having hard conversations. So
Yeah. I don't think anybody,
that's hard though.
I think we've talked about that. I don't think anybody truly likes it, but some
Yeah.
people, again, like kind of like your anecdote about stepping up when you need to, right? There's going to be some situations which just they demand it, and you got to dig in and find it within yourself. And we're all capable of it when we truly do that. So when we shut down, though, I think we get into trouble, and we start the lack of growth becomes like more painful than anything.
Yeah.
Wow, prophetic. Wow.
That was deep. That was very deep.
No, it wasn't intended to be. It just kind of went off the rails.
He ate Chinese tonight. He cracked open a cookie.
Yeah.
No,
The lack of
staying
growth
is
is more
You
painful.
read that off that little piece of paper.
We're
Dirty
doing
dog.
we're doing a little carnivore diet here. So it was like,
Ooh.
yeah. So
Are you
trying
just
to
doing
balance
that because
it, I
I'm doing
guess.
an all fruit diet?
Yes,
I'm going the other way.
pretty much. Yeah, I would never do an all fruit diet.
He's just eating raw.
So nobody
steak.
asked me the question like carnivore diet or fruit diet.
Oh yeah. Well, because it's pretty fresh. It's like we're just gonna see how this thing plays
This
out.
is new.
I don't want to
Yeah.
be totally divisive and make it about us.
Yeah, it was one of my leftover questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
But
you had
Casey's
to,
doing
if you
this
had
all
to eat
fruit.
the peel of a pineapple or watermelon, which one would you go with? The rind.
Ooh.
Oh, gotta be a watermelon, right?
Watermelon. It has to be.
You think so?
Pineapple.
Yeah.
I'm
Watermelon.
substituting a steak.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pineapple or a steak. There we go. That's a
No.
better question.
Yeah, steak.
Yeah.
I don't like my diet I'm on. I'm not sitting here doing it because I love it.
I prefer not to eat anything that didn't once have a heartbeat. So
Yes.
there I am.
We're on the same page.
Yeah, we'll see where my cholesterol levels end up after all this. I'm just
Yeah.
trying.
We'll see where my blood sugar ends up after all this.
When you
Just
tap into
dabbling.
when you break into the 40s, you're willing to experiment.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, bud.
So this is pretty cool where you're at. I want to turn it back to Bradie. Now, is there any niches, let me rephrase that with something that rhymes. Are there any itches that you have yet to scratch as far as like therapy goes? Stuff that you're really excited about that you haven't yet done?
I haven't done my OCS, and that's something I've always had in my mind just because
Good challenge.
I just want to, and I just haven't found the right time. But again, I think I just need to find a time and suck it up, and just make it happen.
Yep, the submissions close on the 31st.
Yeah.
If you want to sit, I just got that email. If you want to sit by March.
Oh yeah, I don't think I can suck it up that quick. I need a little bit more time to process. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. That's OCS is something I want to do. I want to do some dry need for the pelvic. I want to learn more on that. That's all right now.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, that's really cool. Should we it's almost as cool as country music.
I had one more question though. I did
yeah,
really
go ahead. Yeah.
I saw that Facebook post on the Bio Girls thing. I really wanted to spend a few minutes on that.
What
anyways,
people want to know.
Yeah, I think that's a super cool program from what I've seen about it. There's a little bit of it in Fargo. And I just saw your post and I think that's so awesome. I got a 3.5-year-old daughter, and I think what that program seems like it's doing so important. Do you mind spending a few minutes just kind of chit-chatting about the program and your involvement and what it looked like and maybe how other people can get involved?
Yeah. Oh, I missed the second half of your question. You freeze on me a little bit, and I know I'm freezing too, but
that's just how I talk. No, no, it's just your involvement and maybe how other people, if they're interested, can get involved, because I see it's in a lot of communities, way more than I guess I would have even thought when I was doing some research. So
yeah, it originated in the Fargo Moorhead area, and there was a couple ladies that started it, and since then it's blown up. There's I think over 40 sites at this point.
Wow.
That are doing it. So it's an easy thing to get started. Just reach out to them on the website and they'll set you up with somebody to get it going in your community and let you know how to go about fundraising and things like that. But it's such a cool program. I think it's so important for these young girls to prepare for adolescence. There's been a lot of people that say, well, we should really do this for teens, but I think it's great because it prepares them and helps them understand themselves before middle school when things start getting tough. So I have no idea what it's like for a guy, but I mean, I had a supportive mom and a supportive sister that I could talk to, and my dad and my brother, and it was still a struggle. I had friends and I was in sports, and it still sucked. Like, I would never go back to middle school and elementary. I mean, I think a 6th and 7th grade girl is sometimes the meanest creature on the planet, because some of them are so mean. So I think this program is beautiful because these girls walk in, we do large and small group lessons, and we talk about self-esteem and how you view yourself and having boundaries and loving yourself from the inside and not looking at somebody else to love for you and to boost you up. And we do devotionals with them, and then we train them for a 5K. Wow. So it's great because it brings in all these healthy coping mechanisms, you know, how to have positive affirmations about yourself, how to journal, how to have positive thoughts, and then exercise. So it's great because the day they walk in, they fill out this journal, and there's all these positive words about yourself, and they have to circle how they feel about themselves and how they feel about running a 5K. And they circle a couple of them. They're terrified, they're scared, they have no faith in themselves. And then the last day they fill out a similar journal, and they circle almost every single one of them. And they're so pumped that they ran, and it's just really cool.
That's awesome.
It is. It's really neat. It talks about, you know, how important it is that the way we talk to ourselves and how what we say to ourselves builds a feeling and it builds behavior. And I mean, it ties into chronic pain and patient management, and it's all the same. I mean, I think we're building that foundation early.
Yeah, we talked about changing the narrative with our patients, you know, being a huge challenge with what we do. And you guys are doing it right, getting that message early.
I love it.
Super cool. How long is the program? I mean, variable?
Yeah, it can run anywhere from 10 to 12 weeks. Full program is 12 weeks. So we meet an hour and a half once a week. The last little bit is our exercise, and we end on that. And it's just so cool because the girls who get done running first, and then they see the rest of their teammates coming, they run back and run extra, and then run in with their teammates and encourage them the whole way. So it's just, there's just so much positive team building. They get back to school and they have more friends, and they've been through this program together. It's just a cool thing. Like, I can't say enough about it.
Yeah.
You guys just do that? Is that every summer, that 12-week span? Or do you guys do it throughout the year?
Yeah, I've been a part of it since just in the summertime. Yeah.
Yep.
We've been doing it for about 6 years in Wheaton.
Oh, that's cool.
So, that is great.
Yeah.
Very cool. And what are the ages you guys typically in the program? I know you say adolescents, but...
Yep, 2nd through 6th grade.
Okay.
Yeah, they are piloting a teen program, which is like a 2-week, 2 times a week. So 4 total sessions. So they're piloting that just to help these teens, get centered back on Jesus a little bit and leaning on each other and having healthy conversations. So see where that takes us, and that takes the program, but.
Cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
cool stuff.
Such a lifelong journey for them too. It's awesome what you're doing, but it takes, as they always say, takes a whole village to raise your kids. And I got an 11-year-old daughter, and you were dead on the money. They're a different creature in middle school, and we're having ongoing conversations all the time about the ebbs and flows of relationships, friendships, the hot and cold nature of it, and which has always been there, I think. But it happened to guys too. I'm pretty sure of it. Maybe not to the same degrees, but what we're seeing now, and she'll share with me about how this friend blocked her and then re-added her on Snapchat. These type of petty disagreements that they get themselves into, and it's just so important in the moment. But they need to be able to pause and breathe. And like you said, I love that you're teaching them all this kind of internal thought process, internal talking and dialogue, because it's just so important. Honestly, there's adults that need it. Stay in leadership long enough, there's adults that just never learned that. And we all need it. It's ongoing because it's like any other skill. If you don't use it, it dulls down over time. It diminishes. So super valuable. That's freaking killer that you're doing it.
Agreed.
Thank you.
Awesome. Proud of you. Yep, that's very cool.
Thank you.
Very cool. Wow.
Even cooler than country music, if I'm going to be honest.
Even cooler. That is cool.
Much cooler.
Casey,
I mean, that's a high bar.
I'm
That
excited.
is a high bar.
So you have listened to this, right, Bradie? So you kind of understand, like, we're going
Yes.
to do a round robin on this, and we'll put you somewhere in the middle to get you comfortable, keep you flowing. Casey's warned me. He said he's not a country dude.
Me either.
Yeah.
Not a country dude, per se.
Oh,
Period.
man.
Neither's Jeremy. So
So
which
sad.
one of you Florida Georgia Lions want to go first?
They weren't around in my childhood.
Yeah. All right. Am
I
I
know.
Florida or is I'm Georgia? I
They're
don't
not
know how
around
this works.
anymore.
Nope,
Did they
there you
break
go.
up?
Jeremy Shirt, he told me.
What?
Busted up over some political disagreements.
Oh,
So
Oh,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
them. Oh, man.
listen to
There
5
goes.
foot.
So
Listen to 5'9" though. That's a good song.
That is a good song.
yeah.
all right.
I'll gladly go first. Let me flip my noties here. Yeah, like I said, not a big country guy. So my list is pretty much exclusively from music I've heard on the school bus
Yes.
growing up. That's our bus driver was like this old Vietnam dude, and he cranked that country music, man. That's all we could listen to. Yeah, so I think I have one song that doesn't fall within 1991 to like 1995. My time on the bus.
Love it.
That's me too.
Yeah. So probably a lot of hits. Definitely no deep dives on here. So
Me
my
either.
my number five is this jam from 1992. Fun fact about my list, I had to look up the artist of 3 of the 5 songs on here because that's how much I like country. I didn't even know who sang them.
Ooh, wow.
So this one is apparently a gentleman named John Anderson. Are you guys familiar with his work?
Yeah, yes, of course, yes.
Yeah. So the 1992
No.
hit Seminole Wind.
Seminole Wind.
Yeah. It's a song you wouldn't think a child would enjoy very much. But it went well with me listening or watching Captain Planet, very
Yes.
like, let's save the environment.
Super green.
Yep. So this was like Captain Planet's second theme song. Yeah, it's beautiful, touching song. It just hit me. I like the chorus, It's blow Seminole wind. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think we have to worry about YouTube flagging that for copyright infringement.
No.
They may.
I think we're far enough off. I don't think the algorithm's gonna hit on that one. Yeah, so that's my number 5. Seminole Wind. John Anderson. Yeah,
John Anderson, Seminole Wind. Not bad. John Anderson's had some bangers for a while.
Okay.
Well,
Take a
Don't
Brady,
know who that is.
would you like to go next, Brady?
Sure. Yeah. So I read it as singers, but I can whip out a song from each one. I was thinking
Yeah,
it was
I got
just
this.
singers in general.
No, I think it's songs. And I just went
so-
I actually think I was mining your list that Casey forwarded me. So hopefully I didn't screw it up.
Here's the thing. Nick did an absolute garbage job
It
with
is-
the
it is
outline
on,
this
so-
week.
Correct.
I mean, if anybody
Correct.
would like to know what's going on with this show,
Sorry.
why it's falling
Apologies.
apart, it's
So
a
sorry.
Nick Doling thing.
So sorry. So
It's a
sorry.
Nick Dolan thing.
Awful.
Oh,
So it's
man.
all right, song, but you can
Okay,
obviously
so-
say the artist.
Well, yeah. So my number 5 on my list, from good old Shania Twain, Any Man of Mine.
Mm.
Ooh.
Yeah, it
Alright.
just brings me back to hanging out with my high school gals and driving around some country roads, singing at the top of our lungs.
I'll give you that. Like that opening riff, that yeah, it gets you going. I'll admit it. It's good stuff.
Yeah. I think there was a Facebook post that I shared not long ago that said, when I hear Shania Twain say, "Let's go, girls," I could kick a door off its hinges. Like that's the energy I feel when I hear
That's
that.
your
Real
superpower.
Boom.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
It's awesome.
it's weird. I struggled with Shania. Like she had a lot of good songs, but she was like such a staple on VH1 when I would get home. Like I didn't even think of her as country really. She was just like a pop singer to me,
Yeah.
And she made that. I think she made that transition officially, kind of late
Yeah.
late '90s at least. But yeah, she was.
Then I
That's
kinda
pretty
stopped
solid
liking
country.
her.
Though.
Oh, yeah.
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 Not gonna argue.
She's Canadian too, so I mean, I don't know how
Hey.
American it can be.
Isn't every song from Canada considered country?
I don't
Well,
know.
they know.
Snow certainly wasn't country.
Yeah. Fun
Think
fact,
about that one. Just think
Snow
about
was
that.
like a real gangster. Did you guys know that? Fun aside.
Are we going to turn this into like top 5 '90s one hit wonders?
I'm trying to make it a list I can participate in.
Canadian one hit wonders from the '90s.
Jeremy, what do you got?
That's selfish. Mine is also from 1992. Billy Ray Cyrus, Achy Breaky Heart.
What a hit.
Yes.
No way.
That is-
That was a big hit. You know, we just sang the chorus over and over again, as second graders would. It helps me understand my daughter on a deeper level when we just repeat the same things over and over and over again, because we did the same thing. So
Do you have a mullet?
no.
What?
I used to have
Made
a
your-
buzz cut. Now it got a little tighter, but no.
High and extra tight. Okay.
Yeah. No mullet. No
Oh
mullet.
man.
So
Love it.
I
Love it.
missed the mark.
We actually had to learn that line dance in middle school. So FYI.
I believe that.
I
still
would
break it.
love to watch you demo that right now.
I'd love to be able to remember it, honestly, Brady. I might need
It's
some more
like
rum.
riding a bike. I know it'll come back to you.
I'll break it out sometime.
That sounds like
next,
a good
next Christmas party.
Sounds
You'll
like a
achy
good
break it
Facebook
out.
post. If Michelle's willing to
Yes.
record you doing it, I think we could post that to Facebook.
I'll consider it.
Yeah.
I'll consider
Commit
it.
to
I'll
it.
listen to it if you done.
No
Dust it
jorts
off.
though. No jorts.
No, he wasn't jorts, man. He was Billy Ray was like acid wash jeans tucked in
Yeah.
boots, man.
I'm just saying
Denim on
you
denim
don't.
on
Cut off
denim.
I'm saying you don't wear jorts. You
Yeah,
cannot
don't-
wear jorts.
Dude, I won't wear the jorts for that one. I'll save it for my Stone Cold video. I told you.
Yeah, you'll have
All
to
right.
paint your jeans on for that one, Nick.
My number 5 is from 1990. It is George Strait's "Love Without End." Amen. I know I'm a sentimental guy.
Oh.
Deep down, you are going to give me that heart award.
Yeah, you and
Um,
Jeremy are
yes.
battling today.
And
I don't know
actually,
what to do.
when I procured this list, it brought back. See, this for me, country music is like all about growing up on the farm in North Dakota, dairy farm in North Dakota, and like all these memories of like
you're just
people.
pulling on heartstrings.
Yeah,
now.
well, it's
Now
people
you're
who are no longer
overdoing
with
it.
me, but so I'm gonna try not to tear up as I say a couple.
All right.
But George, this song was just always kind of felt right to me, and it kind of signified or solidified what you vision, like I guess the archetypical like relationship of like a father to his kids, and then he blends in, he has the layer of like moving on to heaven and God being our main father, and being welcomed the same way. So I still love it to this day. Having kids only made it even better for me. So that's my number 5.
Ooh,
Give him the heart award.
fine
Give
wine.
it, give it to
He
him.
came
I
home, he
can't-
had a shiner
I
on his
can't-
eye.
I can't fight with that.
I'm sorry, Jeremy.
Game over.
You're back to
Game
dark
over.
matter. I'm so sorry.
It's George, and I wish I could have George straight up higher, but if I'm being intellectually honest with myself, he's my number 5, and I'll go on from there.
Yeah. Oh, I've never heard the song in my life, so can't comment.
I
on
haven't
it.
either, but
Oh,
now I
I'm
want,
sure
now I
you
want to listen
have.
to it.
Yeah.
God.
That's a
I'll-
cardinal sin.
Well, I'll go
Yeah.
back and listen. I'll let you know. Again, I'll post on Facebook what I think of this.
Yeah, we should do
What-
that.
Is it George Strait?
George, oh my God, like you
You say it like
who-
you've never heard
who's
of
this
his name.
George Strait? You're in North Dakota. You grew up in Maddock, bro.
All we did was
You're-
listen to garbage 80s hair metal.
George Strait. Is that it? Am I saying it right? Is it Slate? I don't know.
Yeah. Was it Jorge Slate? Yeah. Okay. All right. I think it would be a good choice. Brady, you say it's a good song?
Yes.
She's backing me up.
100%.
I'm
Anything
backing
by
her up a
George
lot
Strait,
today. Yep.
Yeah. This
he's
is like
legendary.
I feel like we're on like a team top 5 now.
Kind of, yeah.
All right.
The lines
My,
are drawn in the
Yeah.
sand.
my number 4 from 1987. This would be the song that wasn't the bus song. But this song was played at like a million weddings, when you're like a little kid, you go to all the weddings. And it was a sweet song. Everybody loved it. Everybody sang it. I didn't realize it was about making the tenders out in the dark, but it would be Fishing in the Dark
You
by
and
the
me.
Nitty Gritty Dirt Band.
Nitty Gritty.
Ooh.
Yeah, you and me go
Nice.
fishing in the dark, man. I thought that was about fishing. I thought it was a very innocent song. Yeah, so just
Wait, it
sang it.
wasn't?
Jeremy, I have some things to teach you. No, I'll get out of here. Yeah, it's a fun song. I think it's still a fun song. I mean, it still comes on at weddings around here. It's maintained its steam. So yeah, as a kiddo, fun. All these songs on my list are just fun songs. So
A lot of
That's-
street dances to that one.
Yeah.
I think everyone in North Dakota, they were required to be able to play Fishing in the Dark as like an encore closer, something like that.
Yeah. So that's definitely a small town North Dakota memory maker for me at number 4. Fishing in the Dark, Nitty Gritty Dirt Band.
Love it. Love
I
it.
didn't have to look up who sang that. I did know.
See, you're downplaying your knowledge base, but you're deep down, you love it.
All right. What do you got,
All
Brady?
right.
My number 4, I picked because my mom and my parents are just like true and blue cowgirl and cowboy. And my mom would be in the kitchen, line dancing, doing her thing, being an awesome mom, making the food. And so when we were little, we would always line dance with her, and she would always have Brooks and Dunn playing and the typical boot, scoot, and boogie. And I think she wore out our floor a couple
Damn it.
times in that
Wasted
kitchen.
it
So
on
I just
Jeremy.
have all these wonderful memories of my mom just kicking it in the kitchen.
Can you do the line dance still? Maybe we have to have a
Yes.
video off
Mhm.
between you and Dr. Doling.
Yeah, I'll consider it.
What is with the
You
consider?
win. You win.
This is ultrasounds with an ankle sprain right now, guys. Step up.
Yeah. I'll consider it.
Yeah,
I'll consider it.
I like it. I'll accelerate my rehab process and I'll get back on the line dance train.
I believe in you right now. I think you got it in you.
Well, I think Brady could. I believe it. Cool. Boot Scoot and Boogie. J-Bone, Jer.
All right. My number 4 is from the year 1994. And it's Warren G. Regulate.
Okay.
Kidding. I'm kidding.
Okay. No, I
I'm
like
kidding. It's also from 1994. That's
That's
actually what I was listening to then. But no, it's Dust on the
Good
Bottle.
Ooh.
David Lee Murphy.
Yeah, solid.
Again, just one I remember, like is like 4th, 5th grade. That was just a banger. And one that just like carried through college. I mean, just a good song, and one that when you hear it come on, just you jam to it. So that's my very shallow dive into Dust on the Bottom.
Dude, good call. I had the cassette. Side A was really good stuff.
Yeah, that became
Creole.
more of a like a teenage song for me at the old bonfire yos, but
Creole Williams. He lived down Dirt Road.
Heard that?
Very good call. You guys see, I think you're going to surprise our listening audience with your prowess. I really do believe that.
my list may only get worse from here.
All right. My number 4, so it's going to feel like again, it feels like I'm going to really echo what Brady said, but my number 4 is strongly correlated to my mom. And like growing up on being on the farm, you come in and she had not yet gone back to college yet. So oftentimes you'd be helping with chores or just, gallivanting around the little farmstead. And you come in and she'd be like, cooking or doing dishes. And she absolutely loved the Judds. And growing up, the Judds were playing all the time. So Why Not Me has been like one of my all-time favorite country jams since I was a wee little boy. I'm gonna give another shout out to Mary Ann Doling, my mama. She always would, jam these Judds. I mean, they had like a ton of hits back through then, but Why Not Me is the one that sticks out to me, and I just picture it over and over. So that's my number 4.
Yeah,
believe it was
That's a
released
good choice. I love the Judds. Oh,
which one
Rest in
didn't
peace,
one of
Naomi.
them pass away, right?
Naomi.
Hmm.
Released in 1984, by the way. That was my production work earlier. I just wanted to kind of get some dates on this stuff. Not that I was like listening to it a lot in 84, but I'm sure my mom kept jamming a cassette long into that.
Yeah, never lost steam. Okay.
All
All right, my number 3 from 1992. Again, this I feel like is a tag team list. It was Achy Breaky Heart, Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yes.
Man, holy moly, what a jam. It's probably the first like radio song where I think I knew every word to that song. Like, I mean, it's not like a deep diver, you didn't really stretch your ears out to hear what he was saying, but man, I could sing that sucker. Unlike Jeremy, I had a mullet, looked good. I had the spiking comb.
We got to see a pic. We got to get some pics, bro.
I don't know. I'm sure they're around there. Haven't burned them all yet. No, and I always like, this thing was popular. This was a huge hit.
It was.
We had 2 channels. We would get together and watch America's Funniest Home Videos with Bob Saget, and they always had people dancing to this song, and it was like a moment for like probably 4 weeks on that show where just people being dumb to Achy Breaky Heart. It just sat with me. Kids dancing to it, me dancing to it. It would come on and we'd dance. I didn't know the line dance at all, so I can't do a video, but
and then he got it 30 years later with Old Town Road.
Yeah, right. He came
Same
back.
thing. He just came back around.
Just
Right
give it time. You can tell your mom I moved to Arkansas.
Yeah, it's a good song.
That was great. My younger brother was like all about that album over and over. Like anytime.
Did he have a mullet?
Yeah, he's just got curly hair. I mean, mullet, I don't know. Yeah.
I was curious.
Yeah, again, good song, good choice.
My number 3.
It was a hit, big hit.
As a kid, man, couldn't enjoy it more.
All right, my number 3. If you ever have watched the black and white video, he would maybe need some ultrasound on his ankle sprain. Hell Ketchum, Small Town Saturday Night.
Oh.
Has anybody seen the music video to this? Because if you haven't, please watch it.
I will look it
His
up.
dancing has some very aggressive inversion and eversion
Of his ankle, I'm assuming.
It's blind dangerous.
Yeah. What's this guy's name?
Hell Ketchum.
Hell Ketchum.
Hal Ketchum?
They play this. They still play this one. This gets some play now and again.
Yeah.
Howl at the moon, shoot out the lights. It's a small town Saturday night.
I'm familiar with the song. I just had no idea who sang it.
You're educated.
Yeah.
Up to speed. You're gonna have a doctorate in
Country.
80s, 90s country when this episode's done.
The intro to this video is fire. I mean, this is good.
Fire.
This is good.
It is.
All right, pause. My number 3, I can't say anything more than Bradie already did. I don't have a good touching story to go with it, but it's Boot Scoot and Boogie by Brooks and Dunn. That's just a fun song. I mean, that was again, a little earlier years in school, so remember that getting played and just run around time, and just a fun, catchy song. And that's honestly, that's what I like about this list, because I agree with you, Casey. I had to look up who sang all these songs, so I'm definitely not a fan, but 90s country brought a lot of energy. It's it's rare that a lot of those songs you just don't want to just get up and move to. So and that was one of these songs.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Yeah, I've been listening to country all week, if I'm gonna be honest.
It got me back into some country when I saw this list, and I did some deep diving back in. But come on, I'm gonna rattle some cages here and just say that I don't think that's the best song on that album. Not even close.
I don't know any other songs on that album.
Come on, Brand New Man. That's at
Neon
a second.
Moon?
Neon Moon. Ugh. I mean, come on, boys. Lost and Found in a Border Town.
Oh, yes.
Zero. You're speaking gibberish now.
Next time we get together,
Not
I'm gonna bring
connecting.
all my Brooks and Dunn cassettes, and we're gonna
I'll
rock it out.
buy a cassette player, I guess.
You got a boombox?
I might somewhere still. in
Did
storage.
you ever own the brush hopper shirt, those country shirts with the weaving through them and
I had a couple.
conch?
We had
Yeah. Did you?
Yeah, we had a
Nice.
couple. We had a couple. Yeah.
Yeah.
How
I have a
many,
purple one.
how many bolo ties did you have, Nick?
I didn't have any, unfortunately. I
Oh,
did
that's
not.
surprising, actually.
But we did. We wore Wranglers, wore boots. I wore cowboy boots a lot. So
You still do. I
You
feel like
still
every
do?
every
Now
time
I'm
we
back.
go out, that's all you wear.
every
I'm back.
time,
Back to my roots.
every time we've met for a for a conference in Alexandria among private practice,
Yeah.
which is
Got my-
once.
Got my kickers on.
Yeah. all
Gosh,
I know of you.
Brady, wear cowboy boots to a meeting one time. And everybody was like, "Oh my!"
I will.
goodness." Well, the next leadership meeting, we'll do it.
I'll do it if you do it.
I'll do it. I'm in.
That's all he wears,
All right.
Brady. Don't worry. You don't even have to ask him.
Even when I'm doing this BST triathlon, I'm just running in my cowboy boots all the time. I like the added challenge.
So many blisters.
I like to feel tall.
Yeah, I guess.
Trying to catch Jeremy. My number 3 is
Big boot.
another one. Now I got a couple of these ones. Just honestly, they just relate to my dad. I'm not trying to pull on heartstrings or anything, but we only had so many stations anyways in Carrington, especially like when you're dealing with farm trucks back then. So country was one of the only things we got in. So Alabama is like awesome. Alabama's always been there for me. And it was really, really hard to come up with one because they have so many. But I'm going with Dixieland Delight. 1983, I think it was released, but just fantastic song. Alabama's to be just top to bottom. I think they've had like 45 number 1 hits throughout that decade, but just amazing. So I'm gonna whittle it down, say Alabama, number 3, Dixieland Delight.
Beautiful.
Not familiar. As a child, I thought
Mhm.
Alabama was the band that sang Sweet Home Alabama. It was very confusing as I got
Very,
older.
very wrong.
Yeah.
You'd be incorrect, sir.
Yeah. How did they not even cover that? That's frustrating to me. But
I
anyways,
got to
yeah.
see them live twice. Quite the
Really?
experience. Yes. It's fantastic.
Fun fact, like when they were really young, like when they were barely starting out, they had a concert in Wheaton, Minnesota. I know.
Really?
What?
My
Whoa.
parents saw
What?
Alabama.
Was
Yeah.
that like a
I know.
street dance?
It's like the
or
only thing we can hang our hat on in our town. That's like the only cool thing.
do that at the
That's
community
awesome.
center? Where does a band play in Wheaton?
Wheaton Days
At the
78.
fairgrounds, like by the
Fairground.
track. Like,
Sure, it's gotta be
at
a
the
fairground.
fairgrounds. Yep. County Fair.
Yeah. Alabama's so good. So dang good. Yeah. Casey, what do you got for number 2?
Ooh, person I had to look up who sang the song. I had no idea. 1994. This is a fun jam. Still is a fun jam. Don't hear it as much as I'd like to, but I'm gonna be honest. It's a 1994 hit by a gentleman. I think he's a gentleman. Tracy Bird.
Okay.
Watermelon Crawl.
Good.
Ooh.
Fun.
Yeah, super fun song. Tells a nice little story. Watermelon festival. I enjoyed it. If you drink, don't drive. Do the watermelon crawl. I mean, that's fun. I didn't know like drinking and driving was bad as a kid. I didn't get that part of it. I was like, oh, drink and drive.
Good message. Good message in the song.
Yeah, he taught me a lot about that. So I carried that through until my teenage years, and I was like, sorry, Tracy, there's no taxis out here. But
Can't
anyways,
Uber. I can't Uber out here.
different stories. Sorry, police. So yeah, that's my number 2, Watermelon Crawl.
Beautiful.
Tracy,
Great call.
Tracy Bird.
Great song. The Ryan County Watermelon Festival ahead. Like all these songs, like somebody made the comment about lyrical prowess, and they are pretty easy to remember.
Yeah,
you
I was gonna
start
say I heard the song in 1994, and here we are in 2022, and it's kind of still back there, and I've probably listened to it never purposefully.
Nice. Tracy Bird too. I like that we're getting some name drops out here. We had Hal Ketchum, like Tracy Bird. Not a ton of bangers by those guys, but
Yeah,
the ones
George
they made,
George
think
Strait.
Do you think
George
they want to
Strait.
like and follow? Probably.
they probably should.
They might be
Yeah,
on the
Tracy
show
Bird
if
might.
we reach out to them. I
Now
mean,
I'm gonna actually
It will.
funny you're talking about Alabama back like would have been in the 70s playing Wheaton. Now on the flip side of that coin, and there's always something a little sad about it, but like when you hear
Same
about
coin or
like
different coin?
the same side of the same coin, different
Mhm.
side of the same coin.
Yeah.
Sometimes
That
you
makes more
see
sense.
like the washed up, the fallen star, and they're still playing the county fair circuits and doing all that stuff. And I just heard Brady might remember this guy, but in the 90s, this dude Wade Hayes had like 3 or 4 hits. and he's playing Jeremy.
Monoman, Shooting Star.
No, he's
Ooh.
playing He's playing the Roadhouse in Wabasso.
Ooh,
Like
go
on the
in,
His
street.
was good.
Yeah,
go watch and get a burger. Get a burger there.
I thought it's tomorrow night.
Mm.
Get
I'm
there.
tempted.
They
Get
have
there.
burgers there? Is this one of those places where I need to go?
That was on my top 5
It
list.
was on top 5.
Okay. Sorry.
Oh,
Great burger.
Casey.
Yeah, they have great
I
burgers.
listened to that episode.
How far is that
So,
from me? Should I go there to try the
Let's
burger?
add 20. So it's about 3 hours and 20 minutes to get to Marshall, and then another 20 east of here.
Eeh, okay,
Yeah.
that's
But
gonna
yeah.
be a long Friday nighter if I do that.
228, 228. You can do the watermelon crawl home from there.
God.
No, you can.
But
you can
if I
crash at
drink,
our
I'm
place.
not supposed to drive.
Well, yeah, you're gonna do the watermelon crawl.
So I have to do it there and back? That's too much crawling.
No, drive there, crawl back.
I'll eat the rind for sure. Or the diet.
Yeah.
So
But I got excited. I mean, at first I'm like, oh, that's really cool. That's really neat. And then I'm like, oh man, that's gotta be sad. Like this dude was probably playing big arenas and stadiums like 30 years ago. And now he's like, I'm playing the Roadhouse in Wabasso, Minnesota.
He's
Wabasso,
making
I mean, it makes the Shooting Star seem amazing.
It does. He's probably making a cool $2,500. I mean, it's worth
well,
it.
if it makes the guy feel any better, he's just as famous today as he was back then for me.
Boom.
I mean, so he hasn't lost anything in my eyes.
Yeah.
Very cool.
In fact,
He's actually
he's
gained.
gained.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he gained a fan today.
Look it up. Yep.
It's growing. It's popularity.
We're off the rails again. Is it
That
Brady?
happens.
I'm sorry. And that was my fault. Brady, I think you're up.
Sure, I think it's mine. So my number 2,
I don't even know.
it's
number
not
one.
a super known
Ah.
song, but when I was young, I was obsessed with Reba McEntire, and I like begged my mom to dye my hair red, and I just wanted a big old mop of red permed hair. Thankfully, she said no. But there's this one video she has where she's riding a horse, max speeds through it, and I was a horse girl, and it's called You Lie. And she's just barrel racing in this video, and I was obsessed with it, and I had it on a VHS with all of my Reba songs, and I just watched it on repeat. So
You
You
had a
Lie by Reba
VHS
McEntire
of
is
all your
my
music
number-
videos. That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. I was pretty classy.
That's
That's
that
cool.
is that's class.
Did you edit
So
out the commercials like a pro?
Oh no, it was like
You
a
should.
we bought it, and all of her videos were on there. I didn't even have to record them.
The original mixtape.
Yeah,
The original.
TV,
Like
huh?
Yeah.
Reba got paid for it. That's
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah,
It's like
Reba
you-
was
recorded
was
YouTube
legit.
onto a tape.
she was all it.
yeah. Did you ever watch her show? Did you
Yeah,
watch Reba? Yeah. Michelle got
Yeah.
into that big time. When
Yeah.
I think it was
She was good.
reruns already, but yeah, I got a
it's a
chuckle.
great show.
You know, I did. I
Yeah.
liked it. And Reba was another gal that my mom was a big fan of. Reba.
Cool. All right. We're on number 2 still.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
it's been a long two. But go on.
This is just the longest
I was
one.
just checking. I was
We're
just
still,
checking.
we're still under
Building,
time.
he's just building anticipation.
1995. This brings me back to 5th grade. Mr. Norton's class, doing some art projects. People got to bring in their compact discs
Mhm.
into class. It was excellent. But this is John Michael Montgomery and
Ooh.
Sold.
Grundy County Marshall.
So, yeah, gosh,
beat it.
you know, we would just all scream it at the top of our lungs. To the 8, to the 9, to the 10, I know. You know, that's going to get pegged on an algorithm, Casey. I'm sorry.
Damn it, that was
It's-
spot
I'm
on for sure.
sorry.
Nailed it.
Ooh.
I already
Uh,
screwed us with
He's
watermelon.
like,
crawl.
damn, my amazing chops.
I didn't even warm up. Ooh, gosh.
Warmed me
No.
up though. I mean, that was good.
You got the heart pumping now, right?
Yeah. Flushed for those of you on
But-
YouTube.
No, in terms of like, yeah, it's just a really fun time. Brings you back to your childhood, and a fun song too. So that's my number 2.
Good. That's awesome, dude.
Good one.
I'm loving it. So my number 2 goes back to walking then across the highway a lot, spending time at like my grandparents' place, getting stuff. Like when you grow up on a farm, it's like you're always in this perpetual need to like run to like grandma and grandpa's and get something. Like they have like rhubarb for us, to my mom makes some, whatever, right? Or grandma's got some milk and we need some milk, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I go over there.
Sugar.
And my grandma, rest her soul, Dolores, was a huge Randy Travis fan. She loved all of his gospel music.
She should be.
Oh yeah, I love Randy. I mean, he's amazing. And so again, another one. It was tough to dial it down, but when I was a kid, I loved like the rhythm of the song "Digging Up Bones." So I don't know if you're not familiar with it, go check it out. It's just kind of smooth, simple little like 2-step rhythm, and it's me in the fieldies. So that's my number 2, Randy Travis, in honor of my grandmammy.
I'll interject a little story. My son loves country music and all of the old outlaw country. And when he was 3, he named his bike Randy Travis.
That's awesome.
He named his bicycle Randy Travis because he loves him so much.
Your son needs to hang out with me. We'll go hunting and fishing and love every day. And we'll talk about old country music. Because my son Gunner loves country, but like my other kids, they're like, wishy-washy on it.
I like that. And the night on the couch with the little vision quest.
Turn him into a wrestler.
Yeah, man, that's a pleasant day.
Solid.
Jealous.
All right. Go to your number 1 because it's gonna be good. I mean,
it is good.
Genre.
Interestingly enough, I assume people are going to be like, I can't believe you had to look up who sang the song. But I did. As a child, I thought all country music was like 2 dudes. I didn't realize that like there was a bunch of other people. So yeah, this was a banger from '94. My brother is probably the big reason he really liked this song. He was a little older than me, so he was a little more into the country party scene at that point. So it just stuck with me. From a gentleman named Timothy McGraw. You guys familiar with this word? Yep. Okay.
Who's that?
Yep. So 1994. It's a song called "Down on the Farm." Just a fun song. I still like it today. I probably like it more today than I did back then because it definitely is like a bonfire country party song.
Definitely, yeah.
But yeah, it's man, I liked everything. It's a fun little story. You imagine every single person in your town is like in this song in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, that's my numero uno.
He actually had like 3 songs on my short list, but none of them could crack my top 5. But Refried Dreams on that album is amazing. Check it out.
Also,
refried beans.
Refried Dreams. So it's a pun. Like many country songs use puns. Yeah. They're king. They are that. It has to be the genre king of puns, right?
Yeah, because
we're just gonna replace this word, make it really fun.
He was that Indian Outlaw? Was that him too? Right?
Yeah.
Good job.
I enjoyed that song also as a child, but I felt really kind of weird putting it on the list because I don't know if that's like cultural appropriation.
I think somebody. I think he said a few years back he's done like playing at concert. He all shamed himself for it, but. I don't know. It was a remake of another person's song. Like
he's not like he wrote it.
Right?
Yeah. Anyways, that's my numero uno.
All right.
Down on the farm.
TVM.
Yeah. Timothy McGraw.
Bradie, take us away with your number 1.
All right. So I spent a lot of time as a young child sitting on the back of like the little ledge on my grandpa's combine and spending a lot of hours in the combine with him. I can still smell it when it's harvest time. That smell just brings me back. My grandpa loved Waylon Jennings. So anything by Waylon just brings me to grandpa. I love Waylon Jennings so much.
Mm-hmm.
And the song also means a little bit to me because it talks about thinking the grass is greener, maybe moving from home, and then it brings you back to your roots. So it's called Where Corn Don't Grow. And it just brings me back. It's all the feels.
Awesome. You guys familiar with Waylon?
The name.
Heard of him.
What is he related to Scooter? Is there a Scooter?
Scooter would be like his son.
Scooter would be his son. Yes.
Yeah.
Don't laugh,
Yeah.
Jeremy. That's a real person.
I was laughing because I didn't think it was a real person.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't belong in this top 5.
I love it.
I don't either.
I love that we're getting to our. I love that we we have our first like female guest, and we're showing a little bit of our softer side. You know,
You
because
are?
Yeah, I haven't
Country
shown one
does,
soft
man.
song. I mean,
Country
Achy Breaky
does.
Heart's about heartbreak, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But
you can tell the world.
Mom blow up and kill this man.
But country, I will say this: out of any genre, and I love all genres. I'm actually more of a rock guy, but country hits me harder than any other genre when it comes to like memories and like just the simple storytelling of like certain values that just matter to people. I think they got it down. I'm not saying that in jest. I mean,
I will say, like I said, I listened to a lot of country this week. It was a nostalgia hit for sure. It definitely had a little feelies to it, even though the songs weren't very feely songs. But
yeah,
there was a thing.
Jerry.
Are you're done, Tenderheart? You little Care Bear.
No,
over
I
there
still have
today.
my number one.
All right,
Yeah, we still got
I hope you have your
a real good
Kleenex
story.
boxes ready.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Hit them up, Scooter.
So my number 1, I can't believe he hasn't been on this list already. 1990, Garth Brooks, Friends in Low Places.
Nice. Q Casey. Hold on. Q Casey going, who? Garth Schmrooks?
That was
Garth
the
who?
dude with Wayne from Wayne's World, right?
Darth Brooks? Was he a
Garth
Star Wars
Brooks,
guy?
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of his work.
No, yeah, I didn't start listening to country like until like 10 years ago, maybe. Besides these songs. So this took me back to my cousin's house, playing Super Nintendo. We were probably trying to beat the Lion King at that time. This is
One
after
of the
it came
hardest
out.
games ever, by the way.
Very tough. The Stampede. Whew, borderline
Underrated,
impossible.
difficult game for sure.
But no, we would just stay up all night. Like it would be a lot of times like getting together after like Thanksgiving, Christmas break type stuff. And we would stay up super late playing Super Nintendo and listening to Garth Brooks. So brought me back. So
Awesome.
and we got to see him in concert in Minneapolis.
Yeah. Remember that.
Holy smokes. He's good.
Showman.
Like he barely had a voice because it was like the second concert on like the 3rd day.
Yeah.
And he still rocked it. He was very good.
Didn't he famously stay there 4 nights in a row?
Yeah.
Like he was gonna do 2, and then he's like,
did.
they all sold out so fast. They did like 2 more nights of double headers.
I think he did Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and maybe even Monday.
Yeah.
And it was nuts. So we saw him on the second show. No, the first show on Saturday. So he had done 5 before or 4. It was his 5th show. But
awesome.
he barely had a voice, but just a great show. So
Doesn't he play for like 3 hours straight?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
He was money.
Yeah. Funny thing. I almost had I had Thunder Rolls in my short list for sure because that
And
was
the lightning strikes.
That was huge.
Oh, I almost used that for your naming name today.
Strikes.
Yeah.
Jeremy, remember our first dry healing course we did together?
Yeah.
I missed Garth Brooks with Michelle and some friends. Yeah, they had tickets, and I'm like,
and now that you know that trigger points don't exist, aren't you like?
Yeah, you're super pissed.
So pissed at myself.
Sounds like you guys got your own show.
I chose professional duty and growth. And we were hosting the class. We were hosting it, so it's like I can't not be here. I don't know.
We had a good time there, though. It was fun.
Yeah, we did. We had some laughs. All right, my number 1. Too many really great memories. And it comes down to a lot of time with my old man, and his like favorite artist was Hank Williams Jr. So I had a hard time coming down with it. But he had this album called Born to Boogie, and I think it was released in 1987. And on Born to Boogie, there's a song that's called Heaven Can't Be Found. It's like kind of like a mid-tempo ballad, and just an amazing track. Because, like, again, back then, I think in CDs to a little bit of a lesser degree, you'd put in an album, listen to the whole thing start to finish, and you wouldn't miss anything that was on there. So sometimes, you wouldn't be able to skip around. And Heaven Can't Be Found was like the number 2 song, I think, on that cassette. And I love the hell out of it. I still do to this day. And that's my number 1. Just kind of based on that, hopping in the truck, doing chores, running errands into town. And, you'd only have like one that was like stuck in the cassette player on repeat. And that's kind of what we listened to. So that's how, what's kind of drawing me to land on that one.
Yeah, it might have been physically actually stuck in the cassette player.
Yeah, that
Correct.
happened a lot.
It was.
Too much dust. It's like that's what the guys got. I'm sorry if you want to listen to the other side. So,
Yep. He's looked
I'll
all over hell, but his heaven can't be found.
Heaven Can't Be Found. I can't say I'm familiar with that. Is he related to Hank Williams Sr.?
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
just a little bit. And
Okay.
Hank Williams the third. He's got it somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, come on. You don't listen to any old Bo Cephas?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're just talking. You're making up words now.
This is a
that's-
family show. Don't be cursing like that on here.
Yeah.
It's a family show.
Keep your Cephas to yourself.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah.
I will not.
You're gonna share that with everybody, huh? All right. You choose you. I don't know.
Your choice. Yeah.
Well, that wraps up our top 5. Bradie, thanks again for coming on. It was super fun. Just
Thank you.
ton of cool stuff. Love the Bio Girls thing. Your journey is super cool. You're an inspiration for me, for sure. I've had nothing but pleasure and joy teaching courses with you. It's been getting to know you from TPS way back when all the way through today. So it was just such a pleasure to have you on. So thank you
Definitely.
again.
Mhm. Yeah, thanks, Brady. Keep up the awesome work with those girls. You're doing amazing stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah. So for
I
anybody
appreciate all your
interested,
softer sides with me today. Everybody was so sentimental.
mostly Nick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tender heart.
I was due.
Yeah, so like Bradie said earlier, if anybody's interested, it's biogirls.com, where you can go kind of check out the programs, see the communities it's already in. Click on there if you're interested in donating, helping out, volunteering. There's lots of cool stuff on the website for people that are interested in it. And again, our shameless self-promotion, which is nowhere near as cool as Bio Girls, but check us out on YouTube, PT Shop Talk. Follow us on Facebook at PT Shop Talk. Follow us. I think people do that on the Facebook. I post a video of Nick's line dancing, maybe.
Yeah.
If we can get 5
Casey
followers
gets a mullet.
this week,
Casey gets a mullet.
I have had a request to eat a full pineapple. So if we can get a few
Yeah.
followers, I'll post a video of me hammering down a pineapple, rind, core, and all. So
Oh
I'll
my
make that
gosh,
commitment.
let's do it, people.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So if you're on the fence about
Adorable.
following us on Facebook, hit it. Jeremy, Nick, it doesn't count if you guys follow us.
That will make some. You know what that'll do? That'll make someone's top 5 most squeamish scenes they've ever watched.
Yeah.
I'll have a good time. I've been hammering oranges out this week like you wouldn't believe. Just the whole deal. That
Wow.
is, man.
Why?
Jeremy,
Why?
it's a human
just-
challenge. You guys talked about
Just
loving
giving your
food
enzymes
challenges.
the hard work.
Yeah.
Why?
I'm
No
creating
days off.
all sorts of flora and fauna.
Team, take no days off.
No days off for these digestive enzymes.
Yep.
Uh,
Finally doing something with that bile. It's got something to roll on now.
Wow.
Yeah. Follow us on Twitter, BT Shop Talk 1. Otherwise, Bradie, you got anything else for everybody? Anything I missed?
Not that I can think of.
Any other shameless self-promotion you guys want to do?
no, I
No,
think
you
got it all.
nailed it. You
I
nailed
just wish
it.
you guys
Got it
would be
all.
better at knowing country music. I'm just a little disappointed.
Well, I'll get there. I'll get there.
See,
I'm learning.
you can't lump me in with these two ruffians.
Oh yeah,
Oh, no.
just Jeremy and Casey. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
We tried. We
Let the record
tried.
show.
We did try.
I still can't. I mean, your guys' towns were smaller than mine.
Yeah.
Had to have been some country.
I don't know.
Everyone loved country. That's what drove me away from it.
Boot, scoot, and boogie.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, it was 80s. 80s hair was my town's thing. So that's all we.
Like I've said before,
Every
I've
do
been
you
on
listen
record.
to?
Loved Winger.
Winger.
Well, everybody.
Jeremy, what do
Jeremy,
you listen to?
what'd you?
Yeah.
Oh, what did I listen to? I listened to a lot of rap music growing up. So I feel like that was connected with basketball. Like that was just very close.
It's culture, very cultural.
Yeah.
I didn't play basketball, and I listened to lots of rap as well, Jeremy.
If you have an opportunity, Brady, just go stream the movie Above the Rim from like 1994. It's all about Jeremy's life.
It's autobiography.
Tupac, a little Tupac music. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can be. That's
Very
life.
Main
nice.
streets.
yeah,
Mid coast. Is that what they called it? Mid coast rap.
Mid Coast, yeah. He's either the only way to get out, you either got to sling a rock or have a wicked jump shot. So Jeremy went the ladder.
Yep. Got out.
Good choice, if I'm gonna be honest, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Good call.
Yep. Until next time, everybody, I'm Casey Hansen, and with me as always is Nick Doling and Jeremy. I'm taking it over. We're never doing it again. Thanks, everybody.